Welcome everyone to the NES Wario's Wood 50 levels tournament. I am J-Dub and I am here with Rocket, Sauna, and we are here. Go ahead, Rocket.
Thanks. Neither J-Dub.
We're here for a match between Thilo and Darkwing Duck. Should be a good one. Thilo has a PB of a 30-32 currently, and Darkwing with a 31-15. So very, very close match.
Nice.
So Rocket, you are not a speedrunner of the game, correct?
I am not, actually. I've got a little bit of experience with Wario's Woods, as in I own the SNES copy of this, and I played it a few times, and I didn't quite grip the mechanics. It would always be a battle against a friend or something like that. But watching you guys, it's really got me into wanting to play this on NES now, of all things. But you were going to tell me something about the SNES version.
Yeah, the differences between the NES version and the SNES version are there's not a lot, but there's a little. And we are off, so I'll go ahead and explain that a bit while they kick off. The first couple levels aren't too bad, but one of the things you'll see in the NES version is these first couple stages are very introductory. You only got a few levels. If you play the SNES version, it's a little bit more difficult just right out the gate. The big thing I think the biggest difference in my opinion of the SNES game and the NES game is that when you create a diamond in the NES version, that diamond just sticks there and stays. And for those who haven't never played this game and are curious about creating diamonds, this is one of the key mechanics to speedrunning this game is getting 5 enemies or bombs in a row will get you a diamond of a specific color. And that diamond allows you to clear all of the enemies of that color diamond. So for an example, you see Thilo getting that blue diamond there and cleared all the blue enemies out.
Yeah, the diamond mechanic seems to be a real need, at least in terms of the run here, right?
Correct. I mean, it's primarily, I would say, the main focus for the majority of these levels. A lot of times these runners are going to clear these enemies as quickly as possible, and with so many on the board, those diamonds are kind of essential to making that happen. All right, and Thilo and Darkwing both in 8, moving into 9. They're pretty much neck and neck. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can see if we can get Darkwing's screen cropped a little bit differently. We can barely see the bottom side of that, so I'm going to go ahead and look at that real quick.
I didn't want to say anything. I thought it might just be me, but
yeah, no. Yeah, we'll get it figured out real quick. Right back.
Now, in true fashion, being that I'm not a runner of this game, the first thing I did was I went over to Wikipedia and I did a little bit of research on this, and I didn't know that this is the last officially licensed NES game that was released in North America at the end of a console's lifespan, at least according to Wikipedia. I mean, anybody can edit that, so it's
That is correct, yeah. So North America, this was the last officially licensed game that was released.
Yeah, no, I found it quite interesting, and it's weird. It seems to have like a bit of a cult following behind it there. Obviously not as big a game as a puzzle game as maybe like something like Tetris. There certainly seems to be a big crew in the retro community that plays this.
Yes, so it's one of those games that I wouldn't say it's a kind of a cold following, but it's definitely one of those that it's one of those puzzle games that it's a platformer as well as a puzzle game, which gives it kind of a different and unique style of a game because you're forced to learn some platforming mechanics in order to solve these puzzles as well.
No, absolutely, and that was the one thing that I found unique about it was immediately as you step into it, you realize this is not your standard puzzle game. Like, I mean, you might have played some Pokemon Puzzle League or some Tetris or maybe Columns or depending on the console you've been playing on, but this is completely different, and it seems like it handles really well on the NES. Though I did have a chance to give it like a quick test drive, but again, I won't be running in this tournament.
Yeah, the SNES version I think has a little bit better feel in the controls. They're a little less wonky. The NES version can be a little difficult, and it also can eat some inputs at times. And so you kind of have to get used to kind of when to push some of the buttons and when not to. There's some things that you learn by playing the game or just by someone teaching you about how to do some of the mechanics as far as when to pick up bombs as they're falling, when to grab some of the enemies or bombs as you traverse a stack of them. It's very interesting. Some very interesting mechanics of this game.
Well, I appreciate you being able to fill me in on that and let me know that it obviously wasn't my poor gameplay, but simply the SNES version that was causing me all the hassle.
Yeah, so as I had mentioned earlier, they're basically into these teen stages. They're getting into the 20s, and you're going to see them now definitely starting to create more diamonds because there's more enemies on the screen, more of these monsters. And so they're going to be trying to not only create diamonds, but also clear at the same time. So Darkwing's got a slight lead, not by much, into 17. 17's a rough stage because you get every single color that you could potentially get of all of the enemies or monsters on the screen. So it takes a while to kind of clear all these out. There are not a lot of them, but there's a lot of movement.
That's another thing that I've noticed, watching you guys run this game, is that the levels seem to be consistent, but they give you a different play every time.
Correct. So every level in this 1 through 50, excluding level 29, has two different layouts. So you'll end up having a layout. You'll kind of be able to, if you practice this enough, you can identify which layout you get, and you can kind of have an understanding of, hey, how I'm gonna potentially start this level, right?
Gotcha. And then the spawns for the bombs are just RNG.
Correct. Yeah. So after that, yeah, it's all RNG, right? So what color bomb and where they specifically spawn is going to be all RNG after that. So that's what makes the puzzle piece and the platforming piece dynamic, because the game likes to give you one bomb on one end of the screen and then make you go get the next bomb on the other end.
Well, wouldn't have it any other way.
So Dark went into 20, looking pretty good at a 6, early 6, probably going to get out of here in a 6 or early 7, and Tilo same as well. I think Tilo got what I would consider the easier version, but I'm not 100% sure on that. It looks like he's be able to create diamonds a little easier with that. And like I had mentioned earlier, with the two different formats, I think some people prefer or may like one format better than the other because it may be easier to create diamonds and such. But I wouldn't say it's all player preference, but some of it is.
Now that makes sense, and you can clearly see, you can have a plan coming into the level, but things can go sideways very quickly depending on what your spawns are coming down from the top.
Yeah, very quickly. And then the biggest component that we haven't got a chance to talk to you about yet is Wario phase, right? So on the top right-hand side underneath Birdo, you see this little progress bar there. That's your time till Wario. So as that increases, Wario will pop out once that finishes. And what Wario will do is it not only changes the fairy dropping bombs to a crow, but that crow will drop bombs and enemies, and it'll drop a little faster. Which becomes very problematic when you've already cleared out a certain color of enemies, but you still have a bomb left of a specific color, and now Wario's dropping an enemy on you, and just increases the amount of time that you have to spend in that stage.
Well, and essentially, I mean, for folks like these who run the game, I mean, clearly you're a little more conditioned to it, but just coming into a game like this, that's like panic mode. That's as soon as your heart gets racing and you're trying to catch up and get out of it. But the game's throwing it at you 10 times harder at that point, right? It's just
for sure. Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head, especially in the later stages. You kind of sometimes can go very easily into panic mode because of the how stacked up the board is of enemies and how much little room you have to work with. All right, and if you notice now, Tilo has these enemies that they're changing colors after he uses a bomb on them. So there's a couple of enemies in this game that are kind of special enemies. Those are one of those. There's enemies that you have to essentially use 2 different color bombs to get rid of them. So the red enemies will turn into white, and the blues will turn into like a teal color. And then there's also ones that you have to use the same color bomb on twice. And we'll see those as well, where once you use a blue or a red bomb on them, they will blink, and then you have to use another blue or red bomb on them again in order to get them to disappear. So this is where, in those stages where those enemies appear, it's going to be very, very critical in trying to create diamonds of that color so that you don't have to use 2 bombs to get rid of them, and these diamonds will just clear all of those enemies out. And if you get good RNG and you're lucky, that'll happen.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you that. I was going to say, I swear I observed that watching you guys, where the diamonds will eliminate those 2 colored ones right off the screen there. So those can be very beneficial and completely change the game, eh?
Yeah, correct. It's one of those where you kind of pray for those diamonds, and the other part of that creating those diamonds is it is RNG, right? So the color of those RNGs and where they spawn within where they've been the enemy row or column that you created. It won't always necessarily give you a specific color diamond that you may want or need. So you're kind of just creating those diamonds and kind of praying that you get the colors that you want to get rid of those enemies that are the hardest to get rid of.
Well, and I've often seen it too, where like you say, maybe clear a line of green enemies there, and then the diamond will pop up and it'll be green. And you know, like that was the last of enemies that you had on the screen. Maybe you got 1 bomb left or something. Correct, I don't know exactly what allows them to spawn, but it seems like if you have one of those items left on the screen, like they'll continue to spawn those colors until it's gone, kind of thing.
Yeah,
am I saying that?
Exactly. So as you see, Darkwing was in that stage where he had 2 of those colored enemies that we were talking about earlier that require 2 bombs. But yeah, you're on the right track there. Exactly. If you have any color of any kind of bomb or enemy that's remaining on the screen, the diamond can spawn of that color. So what we're kind of getting at here is that it's also very important to not only clear those enemies, but clear those bombs off the screen if possible. Because when you go to create a diamond of any color, you may get a color that of a enemy that you already got rid of, and we don't want that if we don't have to go through that.
Yeah, your absolute worst case scenario when you're out there trying to get extra time bought with these combos is having one drop that's the one you don't need.
Correct. Yeah, it's rough. And like what just happened to Darkwing, it was a great combo or a great diamond into some 2 red bombs that he only had left. Luckily, he was able to clear those real quickly and just get out of there and just keep moving on with the stage. But sometimes you don't get so lucky, and that diamond spawns in a location that isn't easy to reach, or maybe the bomb color that you had left is way on the other side of the screen, and you have to do a lot of work to kind of clear that all out. Well, very close race so far, though.
Yeah, they're right neck and neck, eh?
Yeah, I think maybe one level.
One screen out, I think, right now.
Yeah.
But it's gone back and forth. Like it can change so quickly in this game.
It very much can.
There's a lot of games that you run that are a lot less. Like you take something like we met playing Mega Man 2. Well, like an action platformer, unless you make a major mistake, you can stay neck and neck for the whole race. Whereas the RNG in this can totally flip you on a stage, eh?
It can, yeah. There's a couple of levels that are kind of known for that, where just bad RNG creates a time loss, and it especially in a race like this where these runners are going to be so close to each other, you just hope to not see that.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So yeah, about 1 stage difference right now. Darkwing going into 31, and this is a stage that can be a little difficult. This is one of those where you want good RNG. So as you can see, he's got these pink enemies here. He's going to try to stack to get a diamond, and he's hoping for a blue or red, and that's really where he wants it there. And again, he gets the orange. That's where, a little bit of time loss comes in, and it's not necessarily time loss. I guess you would save a lot of time if he, would have gotten a blue or a red diamond there, because he would have been able to clear a lot more of those enemies much more quickly. And now he's got to do a little work. So again, it's not that big of a deal, but again, it can be a game changer in the sense of trying to save as much time as possible going through this run.
No, that makes perfect sense there. And it's funny, like every game has that too. Like you've got those stages that are just run killers. Like it's there's very
Yes.
few games out there that don't have like a brick wall at some point. You're
Yeah.
level 31 or whatever it might be.
Yeah, you mentioned Mega Man 2. It was always the Wily 4. Well, in this game, it's level 48. 48 is kind of the known to be the level that without the good RNG or even just playing it can it can get difficult even if you get good RNG. So
They always put them at the end of the game too. Hey, like Wily 4, like you've already played
right.
for like 80% of the game. Oh, now the run's done.
Yeah, and Tilo gets a great red diamond there. So again, going to make up time, cleared all of those red enemies out, and then even may even have some other smaller enemies and bombs left from other colors. But again, won't have to use multiple colors to clear out those reds. So already cleared out all the blue, and even though those bombs are sitting there, it's not a big deal. It's a much easier stage for them just because of that specific RNG.
That's amazing. You just see the difference between the two playing that stage. Like it's
how quickly one gets out of it compared to the other. But Darkwing doing a great job into 34 now. Pulling ahead a little bit. The 30s and 40s are very difficult stages. There's a couple other mechanics about this game that are interesting. So you'll notice the runners also do some things where they'll propel themselves to the top of a vertical stack, and you can do that in this game by pressing up when you're underneath the stack of enemies or bombs. If you have it above you and Toad is holding the stack, if you just hit up, you will basically propel yourself all the way to the top, and it's a very quick way to traverse a vertical section instead of climbing the section like as you see some people may do.
Yeah, and that is something that I noticed as a new player to the game was you really have to get a handle on the mechanics of how the platforming aspect of it works, or you can't be efficient at the puzzle aspect at all. Like it's just even on a casual level, you're just struggling with it.
Yeah, what I've noticed about a lot of the players that play this game is, obviously it's a puzzle game, so good puzzle runners do well in this game. But I've also seen that if you're also good at platforming and you can, get a hold of the puzzle aspect of it, you can do pretty well at this game because of that. All right, good blue diamond, but unfortunately it's in the way. It's just kind of sitting there for Tilo. And like I mentioned earlier, those unlike the SNES version where you can move those diamonds, you cannot do that in the NES version. They stay where they are, and that's what makes it a little more difficult. In the sense of the differences between the two games.
Yeah, that make it very difficult. Like again, you say if you had a diamond spawn on the opposite end of the board from where all your pieces are, you have to move all that stuff across the board to make it work. Whereas in the other version, you could just pick up the diamond.
Yeah, exactly. Another mechanic that Chad is mentioning is the kick. So another thing that Toad can do is kick an enemy or a bomb by holding down and pressing one of the action buttons, whether the pick up one stack or two stack. And that's a very good mechanic for getting some stuff out of your way or even putting something in a place that you want it very quickly.
Yeah, you watch that quite a bit, just kicking a bomb off of the top of a flat platform, letting it slide all the way, and then drop it into like you don't have to run across the screen, like it's.
Yeah, Darkwing just did it there to get rid of that blue enemy on the other side of the screen. It's just again a very useful mechanic there to use when running this game.
Appreciate that live demonstration there, Darkwing. Thank you.
Yeah, one of the things that you'll also see is these runners they'll be looking at these puzzle boards and trying to find ways to again create these diamonds in different manners or clear these enemies in different ways. So there's obviously the horizontal and vertical stacks, but you also see these diagonals that'll come out, or even just L formations, X's, crosses, T's. Very cool clears in this game in the sense of trying to get rid of some of these colored enemies. All right, both of them are in 37. So Tilo made up a little ground here. He was about a stage and a half to 2 stages behind, but right back in it. All right, so if you look to the left of this here, we're in the where Darkwing is on the left of his legend. There's a couple of enemies there that have a diagonal symbol next to them, and those enemies have to be cleared in a diagonal fashion. So as we were talking earlier, they cannot be cleared, by giving a horizontal or vertical stack of bombs or enemies. So you can see those 2 bombs sticking on top of that enemy there does not clear it. So you have to do it diagonally. So this is another one of those special case type characters that you hope to try to get a diamond for, so you can kind of clear those out if possible. Luckily with 38, there's not too many of those, so even if you don't, it's not too big of a deal.
Man, that's rough.
Yes, that becomes extremely rough in the later or the larger runs. Like the 99 level runs or 256. It becomes very, very difficult sometimes because you get the entire board with just those enemies.
Wow, yeah, this is such a cool game though for its time. Like, see, it's really unique to most puzzle games.
It is. It's a game that I played as a kid, and I love it. It's such a fun game. It's very, very difficult, and the skill ceiling for it goes from just very casual to extremely technical. So both of our runners in 39. Tilo, nice blue bomb into a diamond there. Looking for a combo there as well. Combos, which I don't think I mentioned, will decrease your timer for Wario if you're in the Birdo phase. So what that means is if you get a combo in the sense of you get 1 clear and then the game basically drops into another clear of any other bombs or enemies, it'll decrease the timer. And that is a great thing for minimizing the amount of time that you're in Wario. And the other cool thing is when you're in Wario's phase, if you get a combo, it will increase the timer for Wario, which meaning he will only be there for a shorter amount of time. So another dynamic that is added to the game of, again, from a technical standpoint, you might want to try to utilize those techniques to minimize the amount of time that you're spending in that Wario phase getting extra enemies.
Like many different ways to catch an edge in this game. It's just a matter of putting all those pieces together. And I mean, that sounds simple enough, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sure. It's so easy. You just got to do it.
Why everybody can do it.
Right. Darkwing out of 40. All right, so we are in the final stretch of the last 10 stages here. These last 40 stages they can be very difficult. There's some consistently difficult stages: 40, 41, 43, 45, 48. So we'll be looking for to see how each of these runners navigate these levels. And as you can see already, 41 is a pain because you just have so many of these enemies that are color changing, and they don't give you a very easy way to create a diamond. And even if you do, you're not guaranteed to get a diamond that you want.
Can I ask you, J-Dub, the enemy with the question mark on the side, what does that mean?
Yeah, so those are the enemies that require 2 different bombs of different colors. So for example, the blue ones on Tilo's screen, they will turn to a teal color when you use the blue bomb on them. So that if you look on the left there, it's about to happen. And then the red enemies that start out will turn into white. So again, it's a special enemy that requires more work than usual in order to clear them.
Okay, so that makes sense. I just didn't notice the panel on the side before.
Yeah.
There's so much going on, man.
No, it's such a neat game, like you said, and it's kind of unique. And for an NES game, it's a very good puzzle game.
And I'm a huge fan of NES. Like, I didn't get a SNES until much later, and the N64 was out by the time I finally got an SNES. So I played a lot of the late games, and there's some real gems. And this is clearly one I overlooked, but what a gem!
Yeah, it is, it's just one of those games that it has a real nostalgia for me, but a real shine to it because it may not look polished in the sense of it being an NES game, but it really is. The controls handle very, very well for for a platformer that you may expect to be okay, but it's not. It's very good.
Well, and I mean, even the graphics. I mean, again, like you say, it's an NES game, but the sprite works beautiful. Like everything really goes together nicely. I mean,
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. Speaking of the sprite work, a lot of the sprites are borrowed from other games, and specifically Super Mario Brothers 2U.
I was gonna say that toad there looks strikingly familiar.
Yeah. Yep.
But I mean, if they already have the assets, why not use them? Who's gonna notice that?
No one.
Yeah, no.
All right, so both of them into 43. Again, this is one of those stages where the enemies require that diagonal clear. So fortunately, Tilo got a diamond to get rid of those, and Darkwing is unfortunately having to deal with the Wario phase with these enemies, and this can be semi-difficult section here. So it looks like Tilo may take a lead here. It's been so close, I haven't changed the audio just because who knows, we go back and forth, but it looks like Tilo is just slightly in the lead, but not by much. We are pretty much neck and neck right here going into 44.
This is a tight race.
Very exciting.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you watch a race of any speed run, on SpeedGaming, it's always fun to see a close race.
Oh yeah, it just and for me, like, it doesn't matter the skill level. Like, just having a tight race in any sense is always entertaining. Just because, yeah, you got someone to cheer for. I got everybody to cheer for here.
Exactly.
My head's a spinning.
All right, Tilo into the Wario's phase as well as Darkwing. Tilo again with a little bit more space and room to work with. Darkwing got a pink diamond there. It's not going to help him out too much, but he's going to use it to clear out the rest of those enemies. He's going to create give him some space to create that diamond. That was very nice. Good diagonal combo. Oh, got sniped with the red enemy there. He's going to try to create a diamond. Oh, did get it. But we'll get out of there. So Tilo, again, with a very small lead going into 45. 45 is another stage that can be semi-difficult. And you see there, he went for that diamond clear and or that diamond and ended up getting that pink diamond. Now it's sitting way in the bottom right, and that's going to be difficult to get to. So he's going to start looking for a different strategy as he moves forward here.
Lorgon says we're about 10 seconds difference coming into the stage.
10 seconds. Oh my goodness. What a match.
Which, again, in a game like this, it really, that's tight. That's close.
It is, especially with all of the RNG and, just even the masterfulness of people running this game. It's crazy to be this close right now. Oh, nice blue diamond there by Darkwing, and he may end up taking the lead with that. We'll see how Wario Face treats him, but looking very good there. Oh, Tilo gets out of there. It's so close. Oh my goodness, it's so close. Oh, and he'll get the diamond and get out. Okay, so into 46. Again, just neck and neck. Tilo being very careful there, making sure just to get rid of that blue bomb as well as the diamond, because if you leave that blue bomb left over, there's a chance that other bombs can get spawned as well. If you notice also, they're getting different layouts. They're not getting necessarily the same layout, which can again affect the gameplay, because again, certain players prefer certain layouts, or certain layouts are just a little easier to navigate than others.
Yeah, I understand how that would really be a factor there. And even just to be prepared for it, like you say, like it might be a matter of preference. Some people might like one screen over another.
Yeah, one of the things that the person that's putting on this tournament and the current world record holder has done is Prissy has kind of put together kind of some tutorials on each of these stages and how to start each of these levels. And even in his tutorials, he'll mention, this stage, he likes this, specific format or this layout better than others. So it's one of those that, again, it could be very much personal preference, or it could be very much that it is so much easier to do certain layouts easy, more than others.
That makes perfect sense. And then you just want the good RNG.
Correct. And that's a lot of this game, unfortunately, is RNG. You do your best to platform and create those diamonds, but then it's you kind of have to pray to the RNG gods to get what you want. Now, I will say this, that some of that RNG can be handled or manipulated a bit, and that's more of just clearing those colors that for those diamonds that you don't want, right? So if you don't want an orange, well, then get rid of that orange, right? So there's a little bit of that that sometimes it makes a little bit more sense, where the runners will go out of their way to clear a color if possible.
Yeah, it's almost worth taking a little extra time, even if you have that combo in front of you, or that clear in front of you. If you want to make sure that you have your RNG limited to a certain amount of colors, eh?
Exactly. So they are into 48. And again, this level is notoriously difficult. Hoping for good RNG there. Tilo does not get the color that he's looking for, but will get a clear of green, so has another chance to potentially get some more diamonds here, but we'll go into Wario phase. Oh, very nice. Gets the blue, or sorry, the red diamond clear there. That was very nice. Does have the bomb, though, so hopefully we can get another bomb and clear that out. Does, but doesn't opt to clear it. And then gets the red. Yeah, does get the red clear there.
Oh.
That's the risk you take when again, you don't necessarily clear a color, and sometimes it's it's difficult to see when you're just trying to go fast.
No, absolutely. And you get into that panic mode too. You've got you got Wario working against you at that point.
Yeah,
you're just trying to
exactly
clear up and get out. Man, this is just neck and neck here.
It is very close here. Both of them just need one more bomb color for Darkwing. Gets it. Okay, fantastic. So both in the 49. Again, Tilo just barely ahead here.
We're probably, I think it was 31-24 coming in, and Darkwing came in at 31-31.
Yeah, and they got the same layout here. So again, the RNG will be a little different when it comes to the bomb spawns locations, but they're both going to be working with the same board.
That's cool to see, especially this late in the game and coming in so close together.
Yeah, you like to kind of just see how they both navigate it. Oh, good combo clear there. Got the orange clear as well, and another clear from Tilo. Very nice. Wanted to clear that green, which he does. Very, very good. Darkwing sees that red diamond and wants to clear it, but didn't get the full clear. But gonna create a diamond, hoping for a white or a pink. Does get pink, and he is out as well. Oh my goodness! All right, last stage. It is neck and neck, folks. Who will win this? So both of them get what I would consider the least of the favorites of the stages, but Tilo making very good quick diamonds. I'll be able to clear out white there. Go for a red clear on the left-hand side. Darkwing is going to be able to clear white here. Won't get the diamond out of it because he got sniped. That's okay. Alright, Tilo into the Wario phase with 4 colors left. But Darkwing only has 3 colors left. This should be interesting. Oh my goodness, is this going to be...
It's so close.
Oh my gosh, what a nail biter!
No
Holy cow, Darkwing pulls it out right at the end.
Wow.
With the official race time finish of 33:28 and Tilo with a 33:31. 3-second difference.
Wow.
Holy cow. What a race.
I don't know if my heart can handle this.
That was insane. What a race. That was
Wow.
amazing. GG's to both runners. That was wow. I mean, you saw it, Rocket. That was insane.
The last 2 levels there, I couldn't even see, like it was so close. I did not expect that. I honestly thought they were walking out at the same time there, the way the layout, but it was just the enemy spawns there.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference was right at the end. Darkwing ended up clearing just prior to an enemy spawning, and Tilo got one more blue enemy. That was the big difference. That is crazy. Fantastic. All right, we should be getting joined by Darkwing Duck. Congratulations. What a race. Holy cow. 3-second difference.
I'm glad I didn't watch. I was thinking about it, having it on,
Yeah.
but it's probably better I didn't.
I know Tilo already mentioned that he will not be joining us. So, but what did you think of that race?
Surprisingly, I've been doing this for a long time, and I haven't done it in a while, so I actually had nerves. That was a very nerve-wracking race, and I thought it was a bad. When I got the blues to start, it's like, okay, that tells me it's going to be a bad one, but I survived. I didn't play great, but the mid-30s again, the 30s again are what are really bad for me right now, but it's all right.
Well, I will say I think you played very well. You both were neck and neck going through that race. I mean, I think at one point you may have been about a stage and a half to maybe 2 stages ahead. But I think that was in the 30s. And then Tilo
41, 42 probably wasn't very good.
I think that's where Tilo made up a little bit of time there. I think 45 was one that I think he made up a little bit of time just because he got a better diamond at that time. But you guys went into 48 pretty much at the exact same time, finished 49 around the exact same time, and then actually Tilo was ahead going into 50, but you pulled out that win just by executing 50 a little bit better.
I pulled up because of the delay. I pulled up and I was seeing the end. It looks like he got a final blue from Wario that he would have otherwise been clear, and there might have been like an input miss. Because this game has that you play it long enough, when if you're a little bit too quick, it'll eat the input. You can't do anything. So it looks like you're moving kind of chunky and slow, but that might have been what happened to him, and he got that extra blue that caused him to have to wait 2 or 3 seconds, and I won by 2 or 3 seconds. So
yeah, that's exactly what we were saying. Is it could have been just that one last little enemy that Wario gave him. So, but yeah,
I
GG's.
seriously thought they were crossing the line at the same time there. The way that last screen was pulled, I couldn't believe it.
Look at, but I pulled it up. I got the correct 3-3 because I had 2 enemies and 1 enemy left, and I got the appropriate enemy and bomb, I think, from Wario to match it up right. So kind of fortunate
nice.
there, it looks like.
Yeah, are you enjoying this tournament so far?
Well, it's my first one and my first race of it, so I kind of I was going to mention this. I'm good at this game, but I'm not like elite at it. And the problem to get elite is I have to break some muscle memory and learn new habits, and I just don't have time for that. So it puts my cap. I have a cap on where I can get to. I can't compete for the top spot or anything like that, but I can at least compete most times. So if I get lucky, play well enough, I can get in the 31s, but I have to relearn a whole bunch of stuff, otherwise it's just so tough. This game is so tough to I'm fairly good at action puzzlers, and it's all about vision, execution, and technique, I guess, in this case. And my vision's okay. My execution for what I do is usually fine. It's just my technique just isn't up to snuff because I never really grinded out technique. I just played the game and got good at it. So
yeah, I mentioned a little bit earlier in the broadcast that this game is the skill ceiling for it goes everything from just kind of a casual play and being able to beat it to, like you said, an elite set. And a lot of that, like you mentioned, is unlearning bad habits from each tier, right? So when you play it casually, in order to get, to the ability to speedrun it at a decent speed, you have to unlearn some of those bad habits. And then again, to move to that next tier, you have to potentially do that same thing.
Yeah. For example, I have a tendency to climb to pick up a bomb or thing I need, and I need to pick up and drop with B, and drop hard with B, and I'm bad at that. And that's just one example of many that I need to relearn how to do. Like, because like you see something, okay, I've got 3 in a line. I've got a bomb and 1 enemy to fit into that line. And sometimes if you climb around things, it's slower. It's just there's a slow way to do it. There's several ways to do it. And, I usually have the less efficient way.
Yeah, it's very true that there's lots of ways to finish off these puzzlers or place a bomb or place a stack or whatever. And like you said, there's very much an efficient way to do it, and then sometimes there's a not so efficient way to do it. And it really makes the difference when in the time and speedrunning this game.
Yeah, it's such a high skill game. It's fun. It's great. It's a great game.
Awesome. Do you have anything else you'd like to mention before we wrap this up?
Is this the closest race of the tournament so far? I know there was another one that was.
I believe so. I think I had a race that was 14 seconds. There may have been one that was closer, but I think this is the closest that we've definitely had. I mean, it could have easily been so close that we would have had to gone back to the tape. It was very, very close.
Yeah.
Even with 3
giving
seconds.
the people what they want. That's all. That's what I'm about.
Yeah, fantastic. So yeah,
we appreciate it.
Yeah, and shout out to Tilo and you for putting this together and joining the.
So I got like an amazingly big PB, so that's like, oh my god, I have to go against that.
Yeah,
Consider myself lucky here.
Yeah, no doubt. There's so many good players in this tournament, so it's fun. It's actually really fun to get to see everybody's skill, and it's going to be fun as the tournament progresses to see who comes out on top. All right, Rocket, do you have anything?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Well, GG's.
Yeah, that's sorry, cut you off there. Sorry. GG's to all the racers and GG's J-Dub. Thanks for filling me in on a bunch of information I didn't know about the game.
Yeah.
I
for anybody that's watching this, continue to watch the tournament as it goes on. These matches will only get better. This was an amazing match. So glad I got to commentate this. And thank you for SpeedGaming for hosting this. Thank you to Percy for putting it together. And thank you to all of the people that are participating and doing comms and chat. You guys are amazing for tuning in and watching this. So just big shout outs to everyone. All right. I think the next match there will be scheduled tomorrow. ! Schedule in the chat will give you that info. And also ! Bracket will give you a bracket for all of the other runners that might be playing in this game. Or in this tournament. With that, I think we're going to go ahead and get out of here and let SpeedGaming do its thing. Thank you again, Rocket, for joining me on Comms, man. I really appreciate you stepping up and doing that with me.
Well, thanks for having me. It was a blast. I look forward to the next time we get to cross paths this way.
No doubt. Darkwing, Tilo, GG's again, and we will end it.
Okay.
All right. Bye now. Thanks, chat.